Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for hanging with me this morning. It's time to rise, shine, and be great. First up, I am joined by the Fort Wayne Martin Luther King Jr. Club and other organizations collaborating on the 39th annual MLK Unity Day. That's taking place on Monday, January 20th. Then it's time for a brand new Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry. And today we are discussing the difference between depression and sadness and remedies for both. And later we're sharing our newest Epic Discount deals, which are fun products at a great price. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
Dr. Martin Luther King dared to dream about equality, justice, and love for all. So each year, it's a pleasure to honor him. And today, I am joined by the collaborators of the 39th annual MLK Unity Day. George Hicks, president of the Martin Luther King Club. Portia Williams, vice president of the MLK Club. Kia Gates Smith with the Martin Luther King Montessori School. Reverend Angelo Manti with Alive Community Outreach, and Clifford Clark with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Okay, so I'm so thrilled that you all are here. I know that Martin Luther King plays an impact in all of our lives, but in particular, you all reach our community by celebrating him in various ways. So I'm so excited to get to it. But let's start off with the MLK Club. So George, will you start off by just kind of giving an overview about this organization and why it's so important to the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Dr. King Club was established to promote and establish Dr. King's dream. Yeah. And in that dream, we're looking at unifying our community. We're also looking at diversity and how we can empower our youth as well.
That's good. And Portia, what is your involvement in the community with this club? Like, what do you all do throughout the year?
Yes. So right now we just finished, since Christmas just passed, we had our Santa on tour. That was very exciting. We had it at the Urban League, gave away over 400 toys to children. Wow. Prior to COVID messed up a lot of things. We would take trips to museums so that people could get to know their history. Yeah. I kind of started with the Martin Luther King Club because my mother wanted to go, and it was good for me to learn my history, and I need to pass that forward to our children. We know a lot of times schools, different places don't teach the history like they used to, so we want to make sure that people still know what's going on in the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And with this, I say the month of celebrating him really, but coming down to his special day on Monday, yes. January 20th, you all are throwing the MLK Unity Day, and it's the 39th annual, which is awesome. And so what will that day look like?
We're excited about that day because we have an opportunity to share how other organizations are affiliated with Dr. King. Mm-hmm. We'll also have entertainment on that day as well. We have the opportunity to give out scholarships, which is something we've done over the past years. Mm-hmm. So we give out our scholarships to our high school students that are headed into college. We're excited about that as well. Yeah. But we're also going to celebrate some of our community leaders. And with that, we have community leaders that we're celebrating. There's 3 that we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate Ruby Bates, who's been very active in our community. We're going to celebrate Joe Ayers. And then we're also going to celebrate Andrea Dortch Thomas. And so these are individuals who have made positive contributions to our community. And as a part of the President's Award, we want to celebrate, as a part of our focus, is really getting back to youth. So we're going to be celebrating an organization from Indiana Tech called the Black Excellence Association. Oh. So we're excited about this group of young people who have come together doing great things, not only within the campus of Indiana Tech, but within the community as well.
That's great. So let's talk about how the MLK Montessori School really is tied into this organization.
Yes, so this is our first year collaborating with the Martin Luther King Club, and we're excited to do this. So Friday, the 17th, tomorrow, we will be having a Rosa Parks bus tour. So we partner with CityLink. They'll bring the bus to our campus, and each of our students will receive a dime, because that is how much it costs to get on the bus. when Rosa Parks was riding. And they'll get a chance to put their dime in and get on the bus. And we also have an impersonator that is going to impersonate Rosa Parks.
Oh, wow.
We have a ventriloquist that is going to read a book, and he has a puppet of Martin Luther King. And we have readers that are coming. Each of our students will also receive a book.
And where will this take place?
At Martin Luther King Montessori on 601 South Anthony Boulevard.
Okay, wonderful. And then Reverend Angelo, let's talk about how you really incorporate the principles of Dr. King into your organization and how you really give that message to our youth.
Yeah, so our organization started to address violence in the community, and central to that work is our nonviolence work with youth. We're in high schools right now, in all Fort Wayne Community Schools, high schools, but what we do is we have a summer academy, and we equip them and train them in nonviolence. And at the core of that philosophy we teach are Dr. King's 6 principles of nonviolence. And so we take that philosophy with them and develop them as leaders, and then they go into their schools and they do the work. They're organizing for peace in their schools. And so we're going to have students that are there that day on Unity Day to present on the 6 principles of nonviolence.
Okay, that's really great. And then Clifford, of course we know, or many people may not know, that Dr. King was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And so let's talk about his association with your fraternity and how his legacy really continues to build through the presence of the members today.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. King was a June 1952 initiant of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And some may not realize, but Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was incorporated or founded in December of 1906. So there was a lot of time and legacy happening even prior to when Dr. King, Martin King at the time, came into contact with Alpha Phi Alpha. But one of the nice things, and particularly as it relates to the conversation today, is that the members of Alpha Phi Alpha, or as we say, his brothers, were able to assist him in a very, very strong civil rights movement that was happening at the time. And that is something that Alpha Phi Alpha has been at the forefront.
Yeah, that is awesome. So just really concluding with this event, what can people really expect as they come out to celebrate with you all from 10 to 2?
We're going to fellowship together first. We're going to have brunch together so that we can all get to know each other. After that, we're going to have one of the entertainers is the Burmese peacock dancers. They're always fun to watch. We're also going to have vendors there so people can come shop, enjoy, find something that they want, and they can know the local individuals who are selling items and who have businesses within the city.
Yeah, that's great. And then George, if people are interested in attending, where should they go to get tickets or to really learn more about the event?
Yeah, absolutely. So if they're interested in purchasing tickets, they can email our MOK operations 2019 at gmail.com, or they can reach out to me at president@mokkclubfw.com.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
thank you.
It's been a pleasure to learn about you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information about the 39th annual MLK Unity Day, we'll have their website information listed below. This is taking place on Monday, January 20th from 10 till 2 at the Parkview Mural Center. So get your tickets, and I'll see you after the break.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
Earth Dinosaur Zoo Live is coming to the Embassy Theater on Tuesday, January 21st at 6:30 p.m. Get ready to step back in time to an extraordinary world where prehistoric creatures roam free. In this one-of-a-kind interactive show, you'll encounter dinosaurs, insects, and other amazing creatures that once ruled the earth. From the tiniest baby dinos to some of the largest carnivores, Earth Dinosaur Zoo Live brings these ancient wonders to life like never before. This immersive, family-friendly experience is designed for audiences aged 3 and up And whether you're watching from a safe distance or daring to interact with these alive and most friendly dinosaurs, you're in for a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Tickets can be purchased online at fwembassytheater.org. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry. And joining me today is Sean Goddard, their founder, and we're going to discuss an important topic about depression. Hello, Sean.
Hi,
welcome.
So good to see you again. Thank you.
You as well. Okay, so depression is one of those weird feelings, right? That can mean different things. It can come from different places. But today we're going to dive into depression beyond sadness. Okay, so what does that mean? Because sometimes people do conflate the two.
Yeah, so depression is really just a clinical mental health disorder, right? It is a diagnosis that tends to be persistent and overwhelming. It can cause physical changes, change the way that we have in energy and motivation and all those type of things. With depression, we often see many core symptoms like emotional changes, physical changes, cognitive, so difficulty remembering things, concentrating, right? And we can even see behavioral changes such as like social withdrawal and those types of things. Whereas with sadness, it tends to be of a more fleeting nature.
And so how can we really identify depression versus sadness? Like, how does it get to the point that it's beyond sadness?
Yeah, so when you think of sadness, I tell people to think of individual events, right? Sadness tends to be linked to a triggering event, right? Maybe it's your favorite football team loses, right? Or maybe it's something a little bit more severe, like losing a pet or something like that, right? But sadness is typically linked to an individual event. It's often time specific, right? So it tends to be something that isn't long term, right? And it's something that we see progressively get better generally, right? Whereas with depression, we see depression as being more persistent and pervasive, right? It kind of takes over life for people. And we often see that it occurs without necessarily any type of clear trigger, right? You know, you talked about your back bothering you, right? And what happened with my back? Why is my back hurting, right? Well, depression can sneak in like that. You wake up one morning and you feel down and you have low energy and low drive and motivation, and you don't necessarily understand why you feel that way. And depression can really come through that way.
Yeah, and I kind of think of it like sadness being a feeling, right? While depression may be a state of mind in a way. Because, like you said, it's an event that triggers it, but it's also the longevity of it. So sadness being temporary. I mean, think about a time that you've been sad or that anyone's been sad. It's like, how long have you been sad for that one particular thing? Normally, feelings go up and down. So then you're feeling sad, then you're feeling happy, and maybe you're feeling angry later. But depression is so weird. It's like that dark cloud that no matter what feeling you're going through, that dark cloud stays and travels along with you. And so how can people really know, outside of the longevity, but really know which one they are struggling with and how do they get treatment for it?
Yeah, you made a good comment about depression being a state of mind, but I actually would go a step further and say that depression is a state of body, right? When we have sadness, we feel it, right? We emotionalize it. We're able to express it often, right? We're able to say, you know, I'm sad because of this happening, this event happening, right? Where depression is more of that, it's a state of body, right? That our mind changes, our activities change, the way we feel physically can absolutely change, right? From those low energy, low motivation to having no what they call apathy, right? And just not really caring about anything. Right. Or finding no joy in the things that you used to find joy in. And so what I tell people is sadness, like we talked about, tends to be more short-term, whereas with depression, clinically, we look for those symptoms lasting a minimum of 2 weeks. But it's not just 2 weeks. It can be months, and regretfully, sometimes for people, years. And so it's important that when we're feeling that way, and if we're unsure, right, I go back to being in school, right, and I remember this teacher that I had, or the military, and they would tell me there's only stupid question is the question not asked, right? And if we're questioning whether what we're going through is something more, then we probably need to ask somebody who can tell us whether it's something more and what we can do to help ourselves.
I like that. And that's good. And it makes me think about what you were saying about my back. So right now I have a pinched nerve. And that's something that's like, ooh, but it's not chronic, right? It's not long term. It just happened. It'll happen for like, a couple of days and then it'll be gone. So that little shortness of time I may need some Advil or something else. But if it's chronic and continues, that means that there's a deeper problem. So I need to go see someone to get the treatment for that long term.
Absolutely.
So when someone has depression, which is a long-term state of mind or state of body, as you say, then what can they do? How can you help them with that state?
Well, you know, it's not just at Viking Psychiatry. We want anybody who's struggling with mental health to reach out, whether that's 911 because it's an emergency or going to the ER, to 988, the suicide crisis hotline. But at Viking Psychiatry, we offer some of the newer interventions and we prescribe some of the newer options. There's an amazing new medication out there called Auvelity. It's a first of its kind, rapid acting antidepressant, and it can make a difference in as little as a week. With Spravato, which we've talked about before, the intranasal esketamine, we can see short-term and long-term changes very quickly in individuals with these type of treatments. And we offer non-medical options, medication related, right, like TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. We are excited, starting next week, we're starting something called ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, where we give people a low, very, very low dose of ketamine right before their therapy session that enables their mind to become more flexible and pliable and more open. And we see large advances in therapy with this. And so there are options that are out there that maybe haven't really been talked about before or necessarily been available in this market before.
Yeah. That's good. Good stuff. So if someone is feeling this way and they may need to seek treatment, but also if they know someone who may be experiencing depression, it's important just to listen to this information to be able to refer ideas, to have an open dialogue, right? About what depression feels like. What are the symptoms? How are you doing? And have you sought treatment? It needs to be, the stigma needs to be brought down on this conversation.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest thing is if you're somebody who's witnessing somebody, it's about being open, non-judgmental, not making statements like, oh, just get over it, buck up, right? Because these aren't things that we can just get over or that we can just buck up through. And so we have to be patient, but we also have to take care of ourselves because being there for somebody who's struggling with a mental health issue like depression can often be tiring to that individual as well. So it's about self-care and supporting each other through the process. And we're grateful to be in a situation where with you, we can tell people there are options and to not be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
And as Sean said, do not be afraid to reach out because honestly, you are not alone in this. And there are options that are available that will work for you. So the key is to have that conversation, pick up the phone and call for a consult so that you can learn more about what's best for you. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Hi, I'm Karen Frisell. This is Jacob Palmer, and we're back from bestreviews.com. Be sure to take out your phone and scan that QR code. Get ready to scan, shop, and save. We are talking cozy products for your home. We're starting with this space heater, which is really awesome. My office is freezing at home, so I really want that.
Well, it's perfect for the office because it fits under the desk. Make sure that you're always comfortable in your office because this time of year, it is really expensive to heat the whole house. But using space heaters strategically will allow you to make sure that you stay warm, stay stay toasty and not run the bill up too high.
Absolutely, and I love that it's got, the remote and it oscillates, so that's really great. Okay, we're moving on to a heated blanket, something that I use a lot at home. This is by Bedsure. It looks so yummy.
Yeah, and it's great because it is so effective at keeping you warm, especially on those frigid nights. And one thing we've noted from the Best Reviews testing lab is if you are in a partnership where one partner sleeps hot, one sleeps cold, having this for the partner that sleeps cold is going to be absolutely a godsend. You can get it in a really great price right now as well, so definitely want to check that out through the QR code. And they've got a lot of different colors, they've got a lot of different styles from Bedsure. So if this describes you, make sure you check it out because it's going to be a great product for you to want.
Yeah, it looks so good. All right, we're moving on to humidifier. I think it's really important for the kids' rooms, keeping everyone healthy.
Another darling from the Best Reviews testing lab is the brand Levoit, which is what this comes from. They have sold over 100,000 models over the last month, and for good reason. It comes at a great price, and it's super effective, so you can put them in so many different rooms. A lot of times during the winter, of course, you're going to get cold, but what people often overlook is that you're going to get that dry skin, and that's really uncomfortable too. This will help you address that.
I love that. All right, and of course, we've got the Comfy, which is perfect for when you want to just hang out on the couch and watch TV.
I mean, just look at this thing, and it is what its name claims it to be. It is comfy.
Yep.
Think about the Snuggie a few years ago. This is a much improved version of it because the materials are thicker. It's so comfortable, and honestly, if you're just looking at it from a Zoom meeting from the waist up, you wouldn't even notice you were wearing a blanket.
That's true. Yes. All right, well, let's take a look at all the products we have today for cozy at home. We have some really great deals. Be sure to take out your phone, scan that QR code, and get ready to scan, shop, and save.
Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. You can find more on the products and where to buy them on WANE.com. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. It's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow for Friday. Hey, bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.